Greg McCallum is the referee for today's game, and Brad Mackay kicks off for St George. St George running from right to left, and Dallas Weston brings it out on the first play for Parramatta. And this is their lineup. The backs, Marn Erickson, much more, Butner, Kenny, Speechley and Tollett. And in the forward division, McPhail at the back, King Blair second row, Weston Fernley in the front row, with Flanagan the hooker. Important game for the Dragons today. They just can't afford to lose a match that they obviously have budgeted victory for. There are two very strong matches coming up against St George that a lot of people believe they might not be able to win, and that, of course, against Canterbury and Brisbane. Can't afford to drop this one. Saints side, Potter at fullback, Walford and Donnelly the wings, Coyne, Bradley the centres, Blake and Goldthorpe the halves. Brad Mackay. There's a very strong westerly wind blowing here today. It's coming from behind Mackay. He's actually closer to the grandstand touchline, but he uses this westerly breeze and finds the line 40 metres out from Parramatta's line. Very strong wind it is too. Mackay getting away from the Cameron Blair tackle. Goldthorpe head to head since 47 when Parramatta joined the league. St George have won twice as many matches as Parramatta, and a very big record against them here at Cogra. Brown using the short side, cuts out Goulet, sets up Donnelly, he'll score. Donnelly gets it over the line. He's very, very strong, Jason Donnelly. When he got the football in his hands and he saw the space, there was no stopping him.
And some poor defence here from Parramatta. As we freeze the play there, you'll see Brett Kenny is actually out of the line. The Parramatta players have come up. That leaves a gap, and the cutout pass, Robert Muchmore going in off the wing. Scott Marn, well, he'd gone the open side from the play of the ball. His positional play wasn't too good on that particular play, but the fact that they had a staggered defensive line with Brett Kenny at the back and Muchmore going in, they have a fairly easy run to Jason Donnelly. He was hit high, but he didn't move too much.
24 goals for the year for Noel Goldthorpe. From the sideline, the breeze behind him. No goal, but St George lead Parramatta 4 points to 0. Mackay finding the line, just 20 metres out. 3-1 the penalties to the St George side as young Stevens makes the hard yards. Priddle stands out, doesn't he? Now Goulet. They frequently handle back to back, these two big men. Goldthorpe. Oh, Blake. Touch of what he has become renowned for. Little touch of magic, and here he goes. Turns it inside. Goldthorpe did well. 40 metres out. Brown uses the short side. Priddle tries to draw them. Donnelly gets a kick away. It's play on. And the touchdown by Priddle. The touch judge says no try. Or does he? Now he's going to talk to the in goal. He's given the try. Scored by Priddle.
Oh, this is unbelievable.
Well, I thought when the touch judge stood back in the field of play, he was saying no try.
Well, Donnelly has got an unbelievable kick in there. Priddle just been onside. This ball stays in. The in-goal touch judge will never be in a better position. We obviously can't see it too well there because the body obscures the ball. Let's just have a look at this tighter shot on it.
Donnelly's kick.
And there you see the divot taken out.
There it is on the side cameras.
No try. Ball's down on the line. That's out.
On the line is out, there's no doubt about that, but this man is quite convinced. Goldthorpe, that's going to be there. Oh, it's hit the upright and bounced away. St George 8, Parramatta no score. Goldthorpe. Well, that's not a knock-on, it's come off the chest of Mackay, if in fact it did touch him. Goldthorpe. Mann has to hurry.
Well, Parramatta must be wondering when the bounce of the ball is going to favour them. A couple of times we've seen a bad pass thrown, Phil Blake batting one on. Jason Donnelly's kick had every right to go out at some stage. The ball just not favouring them at the moment. St George have built up that 8-0 lead, and Jason Donnelly has been involved in both those scoring opportunities.
McPhail. This is Windmill. Speechley. Finding the line about 13 metres out from the St George line. 8-0 in favour of St George. 2 tries, no goals. Well, if you had to give a man of the match now, you'd probably have to be looking at Donnelly, wouldn't you? Interesting play, this. Bradley, the centre, invariably when scrums are set inside their own 20, comes into 5/8. Tallis goes away. Here comes the speed man, Mark Coyne. Mann is chasing, but it's all in vain. The Queenslander goes in. Mark Coyne. The fans rejoice. We could have a cricket score coming here.
Well,
12-0.
That's a planned move from St George. The blindside cutout pass. You'll see the Parramatta defence caught out. As we freeze it there, you'll see that this player, the second man in for Parramatta, has not read it, and the cutout pass will find him out. As play continues, he has to turn and chase. Ericsson stays with his man in Walford, and he's got a choice there, hasn't he? He's got Walford on the outside. Mark Coyne, who probably is the quickest player in the St George team, was the better option, and under the posts. And from behind here, the cutout pass was a great one from Goldthorpe. Darren Windmill, the replacement player, came in, was fooled by the length of the pass. And Mark Coyne, if St George make a break, that's who they want to find in support.
Mark Coyne, 9th try for the year. You've got to find a way to involve him more, Mark Coyne. He's arguably their best attacking weapon, Mark Coyne. He's got to have the football in his hands, though. 61 points for the year for Goldthorpe. Right in front, 12 metres out. We should get our first goal of the day, and we do. St George, 14, Parramatta nothing. Against the head, and Goldthorpe goes without it. No knock-on, apparently.
That's unbelievable. One against the feed there. Big pack as Mackay gets out of dummy half, and we've only got a matter of minutes before half-time.
Saints hungry for another try. Tallis is 15 out from the line. Good opportunity. Goldthorpe goes to the blind, steps off the right, taken by Tollett. 9 metres out from the line now. Brown, Coyne. Mark Coyne put down. 5 metres out from the try line. Goldthorpe waits the ball into the in goal. Potter gets there first. That's a try for the St George captain. Beautifully weighted kick by Noel Goldthorpe. He's playing a part in just about everything here today.
And not the first time Parramatta have been caught out by that little kick in behind during the season. Scott Mann, I think, caught out in defence from mine. The play comes, we freeze it there. You see that there's absolutely no one at home. Scott Mann has come up in the line. They've come up very quickly, Parramatta. Scott Mann was very wide there. Really think you've got to be in behind the line as a fullback. They did the right thing, Parramatta, getting out quickly, but they didn't leave anybody at home looking after behind the line. Beautifully weighted kick here from Goldthorpe. Michael Potter just onside, and that's all he needed to be.
And Michael Potter celebrates with a try. St George go to an 18 points to 0 lead just in front of half-time. Having a magnificent game, this former Western Suburbs player, Noel Goldthorpe. Conversion is there. Saints reach the 20 mark. Just in front of half-time.
A couple of minutes left on the clock now. Parramatta in no hurry to restart this last couple of minutes here. Trailing by 20.
Michael Buettner's got plenty of practice at kicking off.
And Ray, significant that try from Michael Potter was scored after a scrum win against the Feed. You'd have thought that Parramatta would have won the scrum, retained possession and kicked the ball down with only a minute or two to go. And they'd have gone in trailing by 6 less than they are going to, so that was a big play, the scrum win.
Brown. So the Parramatta fortunes are not going as swimmingly as they did in this corresponding game in 1989 when Peter Sterling played his 200th first-grade game for the Eels. Mackay chips over the top. Coyne goes fast, but the ball does a right-hand turn. Siren will just about beat this scrum. Just letting those effect microphones carry the picture there for a while. You can hear the St George players talking. Ericsson. They were anticipating that the man with it now would have got it on the previous play.
It's a great thing to yell out too, just to let the opposition know that you're on your game, you're reading the defence well. If you do happen to call a player, he's less likely to do much with the football.
Buettner. Tollett. Kenny. Second man play for Ericsson. There's the siren sounding as he goes to ground. And a thoroughly comprehensive 40 minutes for St George. They lead by 20 points to 0. We're back with the second half in just a moment.
We are back to Rio de Janeiro for the first time in a long time.
Glover versus Jamal Hill and result for the vacant title.
This is one of the epic rivalries where you have more than one crazy close fight. 2 title fights. I cannot wait.
Love the thrill of the chase during the Aussie Open? Well, why not make it a multi with Sportsbet? We're serving up more markets, more offers and bigger odds. Make it a multi with Sportsbet.
Gamble responsibly.
If you want to bowl faster tomorrow, you need sports nutrition you can trust today. INT Sports Nutrition is banned substance tested and Informed Sports certified. INT Sports Nutrition, powering tomorrow, today.
Ash lost 50 kilos thanks to the Man Shake. Dave lost his beer belly without losing all the beers. And Josh dropped the kilos easy and feels better than ever thanks to the Man Shake. Save 25% off today at themanshake.com.au.
Full service history and extra 1-year warranty.
We're on!
Toyota certified.
Pre-owned in a class of its own. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
When you're in a I deserve a little treat kind of mood, you need iced coffee and you need it deluxe. Hazelnut, vanilla or caramel. Make your day a cream on top kind of day with the McCafe Deluxe Iced Coffee.
Hair loss? Consult Advanced Hair Studios Clinic and regain a full head of hair, as did cricket legends Jacques Kallis and Sourav Ganguly and tennis legend Pat Cash.
I love my hair then, still do, and that's why I'm seeing Advanced Hair Clinic. Their amazingly effective treatments have stopped my hair loss and regenerated hair where I was losing it.
Advanced Hair Clinic. They're the world champions in hair restoration. Call Advanced Hair Studio now.
Want to get closer to the magic of the FIFA Women's World Cup? Grab your chance to win a seat at the final. Buy and scan specially marked Coca-Cola products to win match tickets or Coca-Cola merchandise instantly every day.
Before sunrise, Mount Panorama roars to life in an endurance racing showdown like no other.
This is a race that they all want to win.
The best GT drivers in Australia take on an all-star international lineup racing the best GT cars on the planet.
Gets down there, that's fantastic.
Join us to see the world versus the mountain. The Liqui Bathurst 12 Hour. February 3 to 5. Book now at Ticketek.
The second half underway. Brad Mackay. Hardy is on for St George. Priddle. Callis is the man for St George that's been replaced or exchanged. Stevens.
The other player in some trouble is Michael Speechley with a sternum injury. You don't expect to see him back out here in the second half for Parramatta.
He's had a rotten run of luck down through the years, Michael Speechley. Charged down by Tollett, recovered by Goldthorpe. Well, that was incredible reflexes by Goldthorpe. Hardy. Watch Goldthorpe here. It happens behind his back and he's greyhound out of the boxes, back and pouncing upon it. Same man. Goulet now. Got a ball away. Mackay strides to the 20-metre line. Potter, a face ball for Goulet. Priddle gets it away. Turned out by Bradley. Donnelly comes inside, looks for the corner and finds it. That's a good piece of work. Some shoddy defence, but let's think of the positives, and they were all with St George. Both their big men. They played key roles.
They've got excellent combination here between strength and speed. You'd think that Goulet was tackled all ends up there, but Brad Mackay, as he always does, there for support. Michael Potter, a beautiful cutout pass, and that was a good short one as well to Priddle. It looked like the play might have broken down here, but much more misses a tackle, and Donnelly, too much speed for Mahon, gets on the outside. But there were probably 2 or 3 occasions there, and this is definitely one of them where the ball should have been stopped. Great pass there. Brad Mackay swivels. Now this is a good pass there from Potter. It cut out some players. The short ball to Priddle from Goulet. Bradley keeps the play going. And Jason Donnelly, who's had a great afternoon out there. That's his second try.
Goldthorpe has not been given too many kicks on a platter. That's what he's faced with, and the breeze is straight into him. He's got the distance, but just wide. So Saints score an early try in the second half, 24 points to 0.
We do talk about danger periods in this game. The 5 minutes before half-time and after proving crucial for Parramatta. They lost a scrum feed, and a try scored against them from a kick for Michael Potter. And now they've scored in the first 2 minutes of this second half.
I didn't see it.
21 going on for Parramatta.
It's Phil Tierney going on for Dallas Western. Phil Tierney, the replacement player, had quite a good game in the second grade. Dallas Western worked hard in the first half, but given a breather by the coaching staff at Parramatta. Tierney making that tackle there.
Good strong bust up the middle by St George. Blake tried to put it on the foot. The referee has felt that it went forward. Saints have got a replacement out there as well. Jeff Wittenberg. A great name from the past.
Not bad for your first touch of the football. Straight through some shoddy defence from Parramatta. The pass might have just gone a little bit forward.
Kenny. Butner.
Ray, it's been very interesting to see the use of Phil Blake out there this afternoon. He's been named at 5'8" in the program, but has hardly played any football there in that position during the first half of this game. He's really slogged in at outside centre for most of the match. I wonder if that's a sign as to how Brian Smith will use him come semi-final time.
Well, I'm just watching him now, Peter, as you alert us to that. In defence, he's playing, obviously, in the centres because he's guarding the centre aside on the left. Tollett. Plenty of jostling as they go for it, and Tierney comes down with it. That'll be a turnover. Walford. I've always thought that Phil Blake needed to be closer to the ball.
Especially the way that St George play the game. They're big men on the fringe of the rucks. You would think 5'8" would be the ideal position to support on the shoulder. They played him very wide out there this afternoon. It's been fairly effective. Looking at the scoreline, as Goldthorpe again up the middle. Parramatta being busted at will at the moment.
Mackay. Blake is leading the St George defence down the park. Frankovic put down 25 out from his own line. Michael Butner taken by Jeff Wittenberg. Kenny. Butner.
Ray, it's been very interesting to see the use of Phil Blake out there this afternoon. He's been named at 5'8" in the program, but has hardly played any football there in that position during the first half of this game. He's really slogged in at outside centre for most of the match. I wonder if that's a sign as to how Brian Smith will use him come semi-final time.
Well, I'm just watching him now, Peter, as you alert us to that. In defence, he's playing, obviously, in the centres because he's guarding the centre aside on the left. Tollett. Plenty of jostling as they go for it, and Tierney comes down with it. That'll be a turnover. Walford. I've always thought that Phil Blake needed to be closer to the ball.
Especially the way that St George play the game. They're big men on the fringe of the rucks. You would think 5'8" would be the ideal position to support on the shoulder. They played him very wide out there this afternoon. It's been fairly effective. Looking at the scoreline, as Goldthorpe again up the middle. Parramatta being busted at will at the moment.
Mackay. Blake is leading the St George defence down the park. Frankovic put down 25 out from his own line. Michael Butner taken by Jet Wittenberg.
Yes, a famous name for St George, Wittenberg. I'm sure he's a relation to John. Played in the front row for Australia. Its second man pass finds Mahon from Kenny. Again, well read in defence. Donnelly and Blake coming up with the tackle.
Tollett. Kick by Tollett, finding the line 30 metres out from St George's goal. Now there's a touch judge rushing out.
Both
Martin
sides.
Weeks is in as well on the other side.
I must admit, I didn't see anything. Cut out here from Kenny. Oh, well, there it is. You see the tackle from Phil Blake on Krankovic. Player not in possession of the football.
Not only that, it was high. So it'll be a penalty. There's no doubt about that. Just worried about the height of the tackle. It's got to be fairly dangerous and vicious for McCallum to send anybody off, though, for high tackles, even under the current rules. There's the penalty to the blue and golds now. 32 metres out from their own line. Interesting to note that he didn't pinch him for the high tackle. He pinched him for taking a player without the ball out of the play. Tollett firmly on the burst. Stevens accepted him. Wittenberg was the man that assisted. Tollett, Kenny, much more, and Buettner put it together. Oh, nearly an intercept there for Goldthorpe. Stevens comes away with it.
It's a pet move from Parramatta. They've scored 1 or 2 tries this season, but they made a lot of mistakes with it as well. Mahon in trouble timing his run. Nearly an intercept there, but if Mahon had have caught the football, I think he had every right to do so. He was into some space.
Saints leading by 24 points to 0. This is Wittenberg losing it behind him, but Parramatta comes up with it anyway. Parramatta's penalty. 35 metres out. McPhail. This is Tierney. Where's he come from, Pete? Tierney.
He's a former Illawarra player, eh? Been at the Parramatta club for a couple of years now. Had some bad injuries. Good ball there from Blair to Chris King, takes it inside the 20. Did play well in the seconds. A good defender.
Here's Kenny now. Turning it in for Buettner, but it was knocked on. Scrum about 15 metres away from St George's line.
Well, just an elementary drop ball here from Michael Buettner. He's under no real pressure from the tackle.
Stevens. Japadi. Wittenberg, son of John Wittenberg, I'm advised. Brad Mackay. He's had an afternoon of mixed fortunes, Scott Mahon. Plenty of work to do. Some of it very good, and then he's looked up and been confronted by 2 and 3 attackers coming down on him. Got himself out of position once or twice. Windmill. Here's Ericsson. Tollett. Mann. Michael Potter running it back just outside the 30-metre line, and he's hurt. Coyne, driven back by Kenny. Hardy, Walford it is. Advances the ball, though. Potter's called for assistance. Brown. Goulet crosses the halfway mark. Brown again. Goldthorpe. Wittenberg wide.
They definitely won't risk Michael Potter if there's any trouble whatsoever, as Parramatta give away a penalty again late in the tackle count for pushing the tackle player down. Berg looking to get to his feet quickly, just dragged down there by Darren Windmill.
Tap to be taken 35 metres out from the Parramatta line. Danger looming again for Parramatta. Wittenberg has been very busy since he came on. Goldthorpe operating on a fairly wide blindside. This is Stevens. Goldthorpe dummies to the blindside. Runners, goes back the open side, finds Brad Mackay. He finds Nathan Brown, and the young blonde-headed hooker puts it down for a try. Well, has there been a try that Goldthorpe hasn't played a part in?
No, and it was all too simple. Pass back to Goldthorpe on the blind. And fairly lazy work there from the marker, Cameron Blair. The missed tackle up the middle. And then the select pass. Robert Muchmore trying to bat the ball down, but Nathan Brown, who'd done a good job to support on the inside, was there. Really coming from nothing here. Parramatta tried a similar move a moment ago. They came up with a drop ball. St George, they came up with a try. Good combination there between their forwards.
28-0. "15 metres out. Similar margin offset. Compared with some of his other attempts, this one is close in for Noel Goldthorpe. And he raises the flags, raises the crowd again. 30 points to nil. Michael Potter's come from the field as we see Nathan Brown's try on replay. 30-0.
A standing ovation for Michael Potter. There's no way they were going to risk a player as valuable as Potter with this scoreline the way it is. A little bit of an ankle problem as Sanderson is the replacement player.
Donnelly. Stevens. Goulet. Wittenberg. Krankovic, the sun in his eyes, and the ball was rolling around in the breeze. Eventually it's found touch.
A wise choice there from Krankovic to let the ball go, not take the chance of coming up with an error. Was looking right into the sun. Ball kicked very high, so it wouldn't have been an easy take.
Kenny, anything that he was planning on doing was shut down by a pass.
In mind further down the track, and that's semi-finals, and they'll need a fit Michael Potter if they are to go on and win a premiership this year. Really been a leading light for them. A lot of experience and coolness at the back there as George kept the ball alive again, touched by Fernley, so that'll be 6 again. Wittenberg has carried the ball a lot of times since going on. He cleans up.
Inside the 10 against Parramatta. No question that the ruling was the right one. Brad Mackay finding the line 15 metres into Parramatta's area. Goldthorpe across the face of Mackay for young Brown. Hardy. Wittenberg. Very busy. Parramatta's ball. Right back by Cameron Blair. Played by much more. Eriksson. Once the ball's on the ground, it can be contested by both the man playing it and the marker. Kenny. Butner. Lovely in and away, Butner. Tollett. Face right across for much more. Blair cleans up, so it's a knock-on.
Well, Parramatta are in the situation where they are obliged to force passes, take some risks. They've got to score points a long way behind, and much more looking for support. Good defence again. Wittenberg and Mark Coyne involved. Force the ball loose.
Goldthorpe wrapped up by the opposite number 7. This is one of the reasons St George are so good this year. They've got great depth, and I'm referring to players like Hardy, who took that previous play. Bradley. It's not the first time we've seen Parramatta tacklers falling off their job. Goldthorpe changes the point of attack. Hardy on the ground for Coyne. Across for Goldthorpe again. Goulet up the centre. Here goes Goulet for the line. Slams the ball down. And is it a try? Yes. Scott Goulet gets the try.
Well, the first priority in defence is to stop the football. I think Parramatta have tackled much too low in this game, and the likes of Goulet have just had a field day out there. Great work again. The inside men, Noel Goldthorpe switching the point of attack. Jeff Hardy getting the football, keeping the ball alive. Mark Coyne picks up. Goldthorpe handles again. The short pass, Brett Kenny didn't read it. He didn't come in. And the big step around Scott Mann. Much more not strong enough to hold Goulet out. And there's, again, a couple of times in there where the ball should have been stopped. Mark Coyne gets the pass away. Goldthorpe, the second time he's touched. Brett Kenny needed to come in. He didn't read Goulet's straight run. Poor attempt from Mann. And Goulet, well, if you hold him 6 metres out, he's still going to score the try with that reach of his.
Three out of 6 so far for Noel Goldthorpe. 4 out of 7 now. The score embarrassing. 36-0. St George over Parramatta. This is how they went to 36. This giant of a man, Goulet. There was support around, but he didn't need them. Goulet rewarded with a rest. Tony Priddle back on. Priddle given an early assignment. 10,000 here today. I thought they might have had trouble getting up to that number. 10,042. Last home game for the Saints. When I say that, it's their last game at Cogra for the year. They'll play Canterbury in the city. Galthorpe. Mann and Krankovic, they get a bad bounce, don't they? Blake comes steaming down. Now they lose the ball. There's a chance on for the Dragons. Blake has to hurdle a fallen player. Passes from the ground and Tollett goes away with it.
Well, some razzle-dazzle stuff there, but Phil Blake, no need to throw that final pass as Parramatta get a penalty to relieve the pressure. He came through and he put good pressure on Krankovic. He actually knocks the ball out of the hands, and that's okay. That's fine. Play on. Play continues. Bradley finds Blake inside, and now this pass is the one that should never have been thrown. Tollett gets in between Blake and the intended receiver, and the penalty, well, what Nathan Brown's up to there resulted in a penalty.
6-5. Penalties to St George.
Another replacement out there for Parramatta. Phil Tiernan has left the field. It looks like Andrew Langford in headgear, the number 24 on the outside of John Fernley, the replacement player.
Butner. Good inside pass. Blair. His kick will find the line 10 metres away from St George's goal line. Touch judge has gone in. I think he's going to report an incident that really was nothing. I think it was Jeff Hardy grabbed Blair by the jumper right in front of the referee. Now, if I'm right, this is just wasting everybody's time. McCallum has seen it. Watch it after Blair kicks it. It's got out of shot, but it was just absolutely nothing. McCallum has dismissed it anyway.
With some time for St George to register more points. They do lead by 36. I think the thing that Brian Smith will be most happy with has been their defence. Or the zero against them. I can't remember Parramatta making a clean break out there this afternoon. So defensively, they've been very, very strong against a side that is capable of making some breaks.
Hardy. I did hear a suggestion from one of our rugby league pundits that Jeff Hardy could be the solution to St George's 5/8 problems, if in fact they have a problem.
There's a problem here for John Fernley again, being penalised for tackling high. Something that's crept into his game. We've seen quite a few penalties against Fernley. High shot there. Just to rectify that tackling style if he's going to finish all games this season.
I tell you what, Pete, it's got to be said. Can you remember the start of the year and the number of blokes who got their marching orders for what was supposed to be high tackles?
Well,
Andrew Walker is one that I can remember. And there were plenty of others.
I guess that's probably something that does happen with the introduction of a new rule, Ray. It's very strict early on.
Here's a chance, Peter. Off the boot of Hardy. Welford can't handle. Oh, gee, that was a chance for Ricky.
And probably the first time that the bounce hasn't favoured the St George side. There is a beautiful kick from Jeff Hardy. Little one in behind, and if it had sat up nicely there for Ricky Walford, he was on the fly, but he had to stop and wait for it.
Well, that scoreboard might be 36-0 in favour of St George, but Michael Erickson, I feel he can sleep okay tonight because he's tried very hard. A game that was always rolling the wrong way for Parramatta. 5 sets of hands before Langford is tackled. Tollett. Centre play there from Cameron Blair up the middle, but again the ball comes loose. Coyne inside. Sanderson gets into some open pasture. Tackle just inside the 20-metre line. Not held. Now he is. Replacement on for Michael Potter. Goldthorpe. Harding. This will be play on. Now it won't. Yes, it will. It's the advantage to Parramatta. Langford. This was all over the place. Erickson. Windmill. Kenny. Chance for Parramatta. Kenny draws and passes. Butner puts it into the middle of the ground with the kick. Donnelly is there from his wing.
Oh, dumb option there from Michael Butner. He only had Brett Kenny, who's not the quickest man on the field these days, in support. Got plenty of St George support coming across, but it is the first break that Parramatta's made in this game. He positioned Butner beautifully to Brett Kenny, but that was never going to result in anything but a St George clean-up.
Brown. Stevens. Now, Wittenberg goes down the left flank, turns it back inside, but turns it over to Parramatta. Played by Krankovic. Windmill. Goldthorpe replaced by young Damien Chapman. He, of course, is the schoolboy that has all the wraps on him, and Brian Smith has done just that. He's kept him in wraps. Kenny. Great pass. Butner gets it away for Cameron Blair. Blair, 5 metres to go, and he does it. 36-4. But at least it's something, Sterling.
Well, it's an excellent reward for Cameron Blair. He, along with Michael Erickson, I think have been outstanding for Parramatta. They've worked the joint down. And some good work again from Brett Kenny. The cutout pass to Michael Butner was a well-executed one. It caught Walford out. He came back inside. Now, Cameron Blair to be there was good work for a second rower. He pushes off Chapman. He's through Sanderson. Fairly ineffective defence there from the replacement players. And all the toil that Cameron Blair has put in was finally rewarded with 4 points. It's only a very small reward, but it has got them on the board, and he had to do some work to get that ball down.
36-4. Former development officer with the Western Suburbs Club. He's with Parramatta these days, has been for a couple of years, and has just signed a new contract with them. Kenny, they've got to play him as close to the ball as they can. With the ball in his hands, he's still got some magic to offer, but out in the centres, I just tend to think that they're wasting the talents of Brett Kenny. And he's only out there really because of the fact that Michael Speechley has to be accommodated. Butner has got a difficult assignment.
Well, that's about the last thing in the world you'd want to happen to you when you've been going through the horrors with your goal kicking anyway. It does show that he had his eyes on the ball, because he could have been made to look very foolish if he'd have continued on with it.
Sterling to Wood.
like you out of the bunker.
None from one for Michael Butner. From a wide angle, it's just come around too much. 36-4. St George with this commanding lead. Crowd looking for the exits now. Brad Mackay getting it to go very close to that sideline, and Danny Krankovic, that unmistakable running style of his, takes it out to the 20-metre line, and now it's Darren Windmill's turn.
Yeah, I've been surprised that Krankovic didn't retain his spot in the starting lineup for Parramatta after his Brisbane effort. He had a wow of a game that night. He's played well out there this afternoon for Parramatta in limited opportunities as Kenny cuts out Ericsson. Mann runs on to Butner's pass, but again, good defence from St George.
Firmly. Touched in flight by Stevens, but no worries. As the St George number 20, Damien Chapman, gets involved for the first time in the game. Play by Bradley. Hardy. Wittenberg. Former St Gregory's College lad, Chapman, came over to St George with this huge boom on him. His dad formerly played with the Saints. Now Jason Stevens tries to get a pass round the corner. It's backfired. Langford is with it for Parramatta. Mann. They're still talking out there, St George, Peter. They're still talking, so that's a good sign for their coach. They're going to take this right down to the wire, aren't they?
It's a great sign of enthusiasm. Another Kenny pass puts a player into space. Chris King throws a pass that Phil Blake plucks out of the air before the Parramatta support player can latch onto it. Another heel movement breaking down there.
Here's Chapman with it now. First time I've actually seen him in the flesh. Seen plenty of him on TV, but I don't recall him coming on in the St George game that we've been telecasting before. Wittenberg. Nothing wrong with his efforts. Coyne. Walford! Walford gets away from Fernley. Oh, they've got to score. Oh, Walford has bombed it. That's a forward pass a mile. Well, why did he take Mann on? He had 3 St George supporters inside him. I know it doesn't matter, but heavens above.
Oh, he started to think there, Ricky Walford. That's when you get into trouble out there. The instinct was to try and beat the man, but he only got 4 to choose from. He got mixed up, see? He couldn't work out.
That's what's happened. He's had too many to choose from.
Too many options. Maybe Parramatta should have done that more often.
Oh, Ricky.
Bad missed tackle there from Fernley, and Scott Mann came up with a good tackle.
Good effort, good effort. Get out, get out.
Well, that is one highlight that Ricky Walford will be hoping does a mission impossible.
Yes, the only argument there is that you'd rather have it happen when the score is 36 points to 4 and 4 all with only 3 minutes to go, as we have now.
Brett Kenny has done some good things late in the game. which probably emphasised what I said earlier. He's got to be close to the ball, particularly at this stage of the career. Chapman. Donnelly. He's a fine winger, Donnelly. Getting better every day. Exciting player to watch. This is Blake. Little knock on there. Problems for Phil Blake. Brad Mackay. Very busy game from Brad again. Wittenberg. Chapman. The youth in this St George side, particularly now, when we look down on the ground, is great for the future. This boy Brown, this man Chapman, now Hardy. Brown! Desperate tackle by King. Penalty to St George. Raked out by Parramatta. Pushed down in the tackle again, I should say. Wittenberg. He's another that comes to mind. Very close to full time. Will they score another try? Brad Mackay, 1 metre short. Nathan Brown tries to tow it over the line. Fernley comes away for Parramatta. So this set of 6 should see Parramatta use up the time. That's what happened. Young Brown tried to tow it across the line. Do something different. The siren has sounded. St George have given Parramatta one hell of a hiding. 36 points to 4.